Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mary D Talk Show. My name is Mary D. Welch, and I am your host for the Mary D Talk Show. We've been going live for 3.5 years. I think it's almost getting near 4 years, and I just want to welcome you to the show. I'm really excited about you being here. I'd like to thank our executive producer for the show, my husband, Oliver Welch. Hi, babe. And those of you that say, you hear about Oliver, you know I almost forgot. He exists, but you never seen it. So we're gonna do Instagram today too, ladies and gentlemen. I know we rarely do both, by the way. So for the Instagram, for those of you also, I'm gonna say the welcome again. Welcome Instagram. I know you guys don't see me that often. I don't really go live on Instagram that often. So I'm trying to make some changes. Let me just say that. So I'm trying to do Instagram. Then I will add another. I think the other one to add live is TikTok and Twitter. And I've seen people, they have like 7, 8, the iPad, their phones, the whole nine up there. We're not there yet, but we just take it one step at a time. Let me tell you that, one step at a time. I'd like to thank you again, those of you that are watching from Instagram, for being here. And thank you again to our all the live audience and the replay viewers. I know, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share this with the audience because, was it last week or week before? As many of you have noticed, we haven't had speakers lately. And it's been really interesting to me that we haven't had speakers, and the number, I mean, as far as when I look back, and at first I never used to look at the numbers. I never looked at all. I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, I was doing all that. And at the same time, it does. Now, you could say it doesn't if you want to. So I'm going to be honest with you. Like it or not, we do want to see if you like it, if you subscribe, and if you share. If you're doing those things, that tells me, oh, you do like the show. You do like, and like I said, this is a different format. This is different. We are going to have other speakers. I do have speakers lined up. It's just that right now we just haven't had, speakers, but I have enjoyed you guys. When I tell you, I leave the show and I'm exhilarated. Anytime I'm on, I'm exhilarated. But to have your input and have you involved, I can promise you it matters. It matters. And good afternoon, Nanette. Hi, Nanette. It's always good to see you, always. So I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this show is about you. I don't want you to ever think it's about me. It's about us learning together different things. We're going to talk about today. This is a area I'm in. Well, before I get into it, as I said, let me. You know how I do. I get excited and I start jumping around. I'm trying to be better at that. I'm gonna tell you, I struggle with that, and I'm trying to be very, intentional about. Okay, I'm working on a project. Stay focused on that project, because those of you that don't know, I jump around. I mean, that's just, I don't know if that's just your creativeness in me or what it is, but I can tell you, it's a struggle for me to just focus. It really is, to just focus on that one thing. So anyway, let me go back to, I was doing the thank yous and Instagram. If I don't look over to you guys, don't think I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. I'm glad you're here, Instagram. I really am. So this is what I want to share. As I said before, thank you, our live viewers. Thank you, our replay viewers, because replay viewers, you mean a lot. You come on and I have people telling me, I get the emails and the text messages. They said, Mary, I don't see your show live, but I listen to it in the evenings, and I'll be washing dishes, or I'll be folding up clothes, and I'll put your show on. So replay viewers, I love you too. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. And I just want to thank all of you just for being here, because it matters. It really does. So I was just saying anyway, I looked on the show, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, after the show played, and I never looked, by the way. And this one day I looked, and guess how many viewers I saw? I'm going to share this with you guys. It was 0. It was 0. And I knew I had seen people watching it, but the system hadn't caught up. So I looked at that and I said, wow, nobody saw the show. And I actually said this to myself. I said, no matter what, if no one sees it, you keep doing it. I had to, as There's when it says in the Bible, David said, "Encourage yourself." I had to encourage myself because and one thing I know, no matter what, Oliver's watching it. So, and Oliver he is definitely my biggest fan. So Oliver is watching it. If nobody else is watching it, and I didn't even see Oliver, listed as a viewer. So, but I had to encourage myself, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want you to know. I wish I could sit back and say, "Oh yeah, it's this." But one thing I've learned about this, if I haven't learned anything else, no matter what, you have to love it. I love doing these shows on Monday. I set aside, I don't care where we are in the world, I'm going to be live on the show on Mondays from 1 to 2. If that's my commitment, that's what I've committed to myself, I've committed to my family. I think the only time I've missed it, it must have been some kind of holiday or something. But normally, I'm here. I try to be here. I try to make a point of I'm going to be here no matter what. So I just want you to know this is a commitment that I try to keep more than anything else, other than, don't get me wrong, but church or those kind of things. I put it like this: it's a commitment I try to honor with you. Um, I almost wasn't here today, to be honest. To tell you the truth, I was gonna go to it was a community event, and I said, I didn't want to have to choose, and I didn't want to put up, oh, I'm not gonna be there. That's how much it means to me. And not only that, it means a lot too, because even when I'm not here, many of you know I work for a production company part time. Sometimes I'm not able, even when I'm on, think about this. And those of you who've been watching for a while, you know this is true. I have been on the set working, and still I ask them, can I have this time to do the live broadcast? And they say, yeah, go on and do your show. So that's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. Hi, Elaine. Elaine says, hi, Mary. What a great, isn't it a beautiful day, Elaine? It's God has given us a present. Tell me about it, Elaine, of life today. I love both formats. I plan on being here always. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. I love you too. I can tell you. And this, like I said, Instagram, you're new, but don't worry. I'm going to try. My goal is to keep going live on Instagram and start doing reels and shorts and things like that. I'm learning. I'm still learning. So I didn't say I thank you, our sponsors, theideaclub.com, a sponsor, Front Page Publishing, sponsor, and working on some things. Many of you you're getting the emails. If you're on the email list, those of you that are on the email list, and thank you for being on the list. The email list is growing phenomenally. I can't thank you enough. If you're not on the list, let me tell you how you can become a subscriber on the email list. And I say that because a lot of information comes on that email list. This past Friday was the 70th anniversary of the landmark case with the Supreme Court, which was Brown v. Board of Education. That case, and I just reading everything about it, was phenomenal, and that it was actually 5 cases into one. It was 5, smaller cases, and they put it into one under the Brown v. Board of Education. And let me give you a really quick summary of that case. It was predominantly about a Black young lady that lived blocks away from a school, but it was a predominantly white school, but they were busing her to a predominantly Black school. Think about that. And because of that, they actually end up going to court. It's like, well, we want to go to the school in our neighborhood. We don't want to have to go across town to school. So that's why that happened. But I wanted to share that with you. But that was this past Friday, and that was the anniversary of it. So I did send an email out. I looked at the email, and it was, some of it didn't come out the way I planned. I'll put it like that. But the bulk of it did. It talked about the attorneys involved, the history. As many of you know, one of the number one attorneys on that case he was a Supreme Court justice, and that was Thurgood Marshall. And he was, in fact, after that case, it was a few years later, when he was nominated to be on the Supreme Court. After reading those articles, I never knew that Martin Luther King had a lot to do with that. I see there was a lot I learned. I learned too. I love the fact that every single day you can learn something. There is no limit. There is no limit. In fact, I think every single day I try to learn at least something new, something I didn't already know. And I definitely do that. Those of you familiar with the email list, I learned so much because I read what you're reading. Same thing. So that case is just huge. And so that's why I wanted to share that. But that's only one. I'm telling you, I send out so much. I didn't send out anything today. I think I have a flyer that's going out today. Today is just a flyer. Not, I don't want to say just a flyer because that's not true, but a flyer is going out. And I like flyers because you get the information, it's quick. Now you move on to something else, and you don't have to now. True enough, some of the things I send out is huge. The one Friday was huge. It was. It was very long. But the reason I do that is because some of the information I send out deserves it. The 70th anniversary of the Brown v. Board of Education deserved it, in my opinion. It deserved the time and attention and a long it went into detail about the information that it was deservedly so. Let me say that. Let me say this. I just want you to, where I understand some of you are going, what is this lady sending out this long, this long email? That's why. Now, then again, like I have emails lined up. They're already some are already ready to go. It's just a flyer. It's a flyer. That's it. You're gonna get a flyer. It's gonna go out, and that's it. And you just read it, get the information. If you can use it, fine. If you can share it, and it always says on the top of you're not on the top of the email. It says, "Please share," because this is how I look at life. You have friends and neighbors and people I don't know. We don't know. I don't have I'm not with them. I don't know them, but you do. And you can share the information with them at any time you see those emails. And it says it at the top, please share. I want you to share that. I'm getting ready to send you my email, which is Mary@MaryD Welch. Those of you that are not familiar with the email, I'm going to give it to you now. I'm looking for it really quickly because I want you to be able to well, let me do this. I'll put the Instagram up first. If you're on Instagram, that's my Instagram, Mary_D_Welch. And here's my email. Oh, there it is. It just popped up. Here's my email, Mary@MaryD Welch. Now, that's if you want to get on the email list. You send me an email, you'll be on the list the same day. This is my commitment is when people give me emails, the very day you give it to me, you go on the list. I literally will stay up and put those emails in. Either I do or I have one of my assistants do it, but that day. And the reason being, when the email goes out, I want you to get that. I don't want you to be very current. I don't want to wait a month or 2 months or that. No. I try to be really intentional of keeping those emails up. The assistant that works for me, she said, you really do. I mean, that's for sure. I've had people send me lists that had 400 and 500 and said, can you please add these emails to your email system? Which is so interesting that somebody would do that. But they said, you're sending out good, things I feel like the community could use. And I like for these people to have the information. And what they really were sending me was their email system, the people in their email. So they don't have to send it out anymore. They're already inside the email system. Okay, now we're going to get to the subject at hand. Before I go on, I will show you the book that this is all from. So just so you know, it's not from me personally. Let me say that. But and she's been on the show. In fact, I'm going to have her back. And this is from Wendy Gladney, or Coach Wendy is what her name is. This is her book. Let me show you guys. Can you see that? The title of the book is The Journey to Discovering Your Best Self from Coach Wendy. I want you to see that. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So I wanted to first for you to see, and this is I don't know if this is the book or is there one bigger than this? I don't know. I need to find that out for you if there's a bigger one. But whether it is or it isn't, this is where we're going to start. And I want to share. I was reading it this weekend. And this is what I often think. If the words in here are affecting me, then that means there's somebody in here is going to be affecting also. And I'm going to ask her for permission to have excerpts from the book go out on the email system. I can't do it without her permission because this is all copywritten material. So as long as I make sure I give credit to the person that did it. And as I said before, here's Coach Wendy. There you go. That's Instagram, and there you go for the everyone on Facebook. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on was it Facebook, LinkedIn, or is it Twitter or X? Okay, all of you guys and YouTube. This is I just want to make sure you see it. There are 10. Um, yeah, I think they're important. This is what I think they are. But I'm going to go over them one by one. If you have anything you want to add or anything you want to that you feel like is important, okay, here it is. I'll put the book up too. There it is. Okay, that's the title of the book. And then I'm going to give you one by one. I'm not going to read everything, but I will read some of it. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not. But you're what I welcome your interaction. So if you have anything you want to add, please do. That's totally acceptable. I'm not even going to like on this. It's her story, but I'm not going to read the whole part of her story. But I will give you like a couple or as they say, nuggets from her story. Okay, she says her story and why this book: broken, but not broken. I'm sorry, broke but not broken. This is from the inside verse. It says, "We all have an image of how we see ourselves. When we are young, we imagine how lives will be when we grow up. When I think about seasons of greatness means to me, I believe it is something that we are constantly evolving to become." So hold on. You know what? Let's see. So you guys, so I want to look down. You guys see me all looking down all the time. So I'm put it up. Okay. As we continue to evolve into our greatness, we become a leader that is seen, heard, and felt throughout the world. It is about finding ourselves and who we were always meant to be. History has many examples of people that when they walk into their season of greatness, they not only become great, but they affect change in the world. Jesus, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, Barack Obama, my grandmother Rebecca, Ruth Reed Harris are all part of my life's examples. I know you might say, yes, but I could never be like any of those people. My question to you is, why not? Most of the people that truly most of the people that truly experience greatness did not start with that as their goal. Many of them were humble by nature. They started out with a mission and vision for their life and followed it through. You may be the very person that changes the trajectory of someone's life. And without you, it would never have been possible. When I reflect on my life, it has been filled with many twists and turns, some good and some not so good. I learned to forgive my parents for the abuse and abandonment I experienced as a child. I picked I picked up the pieces from broken marriages that ended in divorce, rebuilt my career from temporary sidetracks, and when, educated myself on what it means to grow older with grace. But I know, oh, I want to make sure we get all this good information. I know there was something more. I knew there was something more. I knew there was a better season ahead for me. I decided to take some time to look back at where my life has been, where I want to go, and how to make that happen. I reflected on the Lutheran theologian Reinhard Niebuhr's prayer: "Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." We must take responsibility for our own lives and the choices we make. I started to invest in myself like I'd never done before. I sought the Lord to guide my journey. I spent more time with my family and I spent time doing things that brought me joy. I love traveling and eating good meals. More than anything, I forgave myself for everything I had done wrong. I forgave others who wronged me, and I decided to stop looking in the rear view mirror and keep my eyes forward. That's huge. As you begin your journey, think about what brings you joy. Explore your meaning, message, and mission, and you will never go wrong. Thank you, Wendy. And she doesn't even know that I'm doing this today. So I hope she does see. I'm gonna tell her at the end. I'll let her know. Okay, now we're gonna get into one of the seasons of greatness. Okay, before we get into the season of greatness, she puts anything you see you can achieve. I believe in you, and I'm here to help you get started. So she talks about that. So, and I was just listening to another um, speaker earlier. I think it was Trim. I can't think of her first name, but she was on. It was someone that sent that on my sent it to me in a text, and I was listening to her on our walk this morning. And I thought, wow, it was just motivational. So, and I'll be honest, every single day I have to listen to something to get motivated because it's not like I'm want to go walk or do anything like that, but I know the importance of it for my health. I sleep better at night, all these things. And so I try to walk every morning before 9 o'clock. And I do about a mile, maybe a mile and a half at the most. But something, and I'm still working on weight bearing. I got to start lifting weights. Number one, I'm getting older. I got to take care of this. You only get one body. Inoko, power of self compassion and forgiveness. Thank you. Thank you, Inoko. Now, this is a prolific writer here, ladies and gentlemen. Prolific. So is Elaine. All of you wonderful ladies are prolific. You really are. Thank you. So, Nanette, Elaine, Inoko. Hi, ladies. So, we're going to get into the on here. Here we go. Number one. This is what she says. And I'm going to put this up for you. Forgive. It starts with you. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know about you, but I have to work at that. I do, because I do. I'll be the first. I do. I try not to hold grudges, but I know I do. Because if people do you wrong, you feel like this is what I'm laughing. Not at that. I'm laughing because someone said to me, they said, I want to get the last lick. I said, and I remember when she said it, I said, wait a minute, how old are we now? what she was really saying is she does not forgive. Think about what that's saying. She holds on to things and she doesn't forgive. She doesn't forgive. I'm going to go into what Coach Gladney says, but I'm also going to share with you, as many of you have heard, that oh, thank you, Noko. And I'm sure you heard the saying that when you don't forgive, it's as if someone else takes the poison. I mean, no, you take the poison, and I forget how it goes. Somebody else died. But the point is, what good is it? That's what they're really saying. And I think this is what I think, ladies and gentlemen. I think people hold on to unforgiveness because they do want to get that last lick. When that lady said that to me, I'll never forget that because she said it. She was sincere. She wasn't just saying it. She said, "I want the last lick," and I thought, "Wow." Somebody told me they waited 20 years. Think about 20 years of their life gone. They can never get it back. Trying to get somebody back. Don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about, let me just get into forgiveness. Okay, forgive. It starts with you. Forgiveness is an action or process of forgiving or being forgiven. I'm going to say it again. Forgiveness is the action or process of forgiving or being forgiven. That's what it is. Now I'm going to read, I'll do the, I try not to go into each one in details, but I'll go into, because it's kind of hard to give you that and not give you something to go with it. But don't forget, you can always get the book too. The importance and value of forgiveness is something I learned at an early age. When I was a little girl, my paternal grandmother, or they call her Mother Dear, taught me faith and the belief in God. She also taught us that Christ died on the cross for all of us and forgave us for our sins. As we journey through life, we must be careful about judging others and holding onto unforgiveness because we will all need grace and mercy at one point or another during our lifetime. That's a fact. This goes for learning to forgive ourselves for choices and or decisions we may have made at one time or another that did not serve us well. Usually we are the hardest on ourselves. There comes a time when we must learn the lesson, release, let it go, and move on. Now, this is what I think about that. That is easier said than done. Everybody knows what that means? This is easier to say that you are to learn the lesson, release, let go, and move on. It's easy to say those things. I think it's another thing to do them. Now is the time for us to stop and look in the mirror at ourselves, and if necessary, through a window to see if we need to forgive ourselves or someone else. Once you take time to evaluate your heart and mind, I encourage you to take the necessary steps to correct whatever needs to be done to get you on the right path. Remember, forgiveness is about freedom. You will feel lighter once you drop the shackles that have been binding you to anger, bitterness, and unforgiveness. Forgiveness transforms us and liberates us and allows us to be free. Wow. I hope that, I don't know, I'll put like this. It definitely was for me. I'm going to speak for me. If it wasn't for anybody else, sorry about that. Instagram looks like I'm losing my connection for Instagram. Sorry about that. I don't know. It's going in and out. But that's forgiveness. Number 2, clarity. What do you want? Ladies, gentlemen, this is what I think. This is my opinion. What I've seen. My experience. When you know what you want, you can get it. This is what I find. Many people don't know what they want. That's what I think. It's not that they don't want something, they don't know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, how can you get it? You have to be so specific when you. Look at this. One of my granddaughters joined. Hi, Miss Sam. When you know what you want, ladies and gentlemen, you can get it. I'm telling you, this is. I'll use me as an example. When I went to college, I have a degree, just like a lot of people do. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I had no clue what I wanted to do with it. Had the degree. Think about this. Didn't know what it was. I didn't know what to do, where to start. I had no clue. When I got clarity and realized I wanted to be a teacher, it's hard to believe this, but it's true. 10 months later, think about this. 10 months later, I was a teacher. Hi, sweetheart. 10 months later, I'm seeing the names coming in. I'm calling the names. So I'm doing Instagram. And so, hi, Queen. Hi, Mary. They come on the Instagram. I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, think about what I'm saying here. For 3 years, I had a college degree. For 3 years, I literally was like, I call it floundering. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was really like I was like in this place of doing. I feel like I was going in circles. I didn't have a clue because I had no clarity. I didn't know what I wanted. Oh, thank you, Queen. Thank you. I see Queen on here. Thank you. I didn't know what I wanted. I had no clue. I didn't know. This is what I did though. I sat down with a sheet of paper. Let me tell you this is my process. And I would tell anybody, do whatever works for you. But this was my process. I sat down with a sheet of paper. Oh, you're so sweet, Queen. You're so sweet. And this is what I took the sheet of paper and I drew a line down the middle. And I put on one side all the jobs I'd ever had up until that point. Whatever the job was, I just put it, just listed it. Then on the opposite side, I put what was it about that job I liked. What I found was every single job I had, I worked with teenagers. I found a commonality that I didn't see before. I didn't know it was there. But once I saw that commonality, I said, okay, now that I know I love teenagers, and I still do, they're just, and then one of our granddaughters just turned 17, Nasea. I didn't forget your birthday. So, and think about it, you're leaving this week. She's on her way to Europe. And once I had real clear, guess what? It wasn't not even a year later. I was in a classroom teaching history. Think about a year. All it took was clarity. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. Then when I did figure it out, I applied to Cal State San Bernardino. I went in their teaching credential program. A year, they tracked us. 74 of us went in the program. Oh, thank you. And they told us, think about it, we're in the class, and they said, look to your left and look to your right. And that person will not be here at the end of the class. And I put my hand up, and I told both of those people on my left and right, do not look at me, because I'm going to be here at the end of this class. I was actually pregnant. And to say I was pregnant with your dad, as a matter of fact. And I meant it. I said, don't look at me. Do you know the person on my right dropped out? He went into which is nothing wrong with it, by the way. He went to Firefighters Academy. The person on my left dropped out. She found out she didn't have the grades to be in the program. And so she had to go back to the community college and bring her grade point average up before they would allow her to be in the program. There were 24 of us that finished that program that year. 24 of us. Think about it. You were in nursing school. It happened to you too? Oh, okay. All right. See, it's not, once you know what you want. So 24 of us finished that program. They tracked us, by the way. This was real. I don't know if they still do that or not, but they did track us. This is a long time ago. Well, it's not recent. And so when they tracked us, we had an email. We got a monthly email at the first of every month of who received a teaching contract. And I don't have to tell you, I was the only one the entire year. Think about what I'm saying. I know another part to that story too. That, okay, every single day I would get up because I graduated that June. Bradley was born that July. And so here it is. Now we're into September, October. School has already started. None of us, when the first emails went out, nobody had a contract. This was the year they were not hiring teachers. Nobody had a contract. So what I did is I would take there were babies then, to daycare. Bradley was like about 3 months, 4 months. And Peyton was a little over a year, the oldest son. I would take them to daycare and I would come back home. And first of all, let me tell you what I did. I got up and I got dressed like I was going to a job. I did that. I got up, got the boys ready, did everything like I was physically, I had no job. Let me tell you that. I had no job, but I act like I had a job. I got up, I got everything ready for them for daycare. Then, I took them to the daycare provider, came back home, and I sat at the kitchen table and called. This is every single day. Every single day. I called over 40 school districts. And I heard no every single day for about a month. Because when I ended up getting a contract, school was already in. I didn't come on to start working until October. So I remember that the dad came home. He said, because we're paying for the daycare now. It's not free or anything like that. And he goes, I think it's too late. I think you may have missed the window and you probably have to wait till next year. I said, no, I'm getting a job. I was like, I remember that thinking, they're not hiring. I'm telling you, but I was bent. I said, and determined. I said, I know there's a job out there for me somewhere. I ended up getting one. That it was the next day after he said that, I called and found a job the next day. And they said I had to go get the application. This is before internet, all that kind of stuff. You have to go get the application, fill it out. At that time, my late husband, he went and got the application, filled it out. I filled it out, took it back the next day. He called me in. As they say, and the rest is history. But I'm saying that to say the one thing I had, if I didn't have anything else, I had clarity about the teaching credential. And in addition to that, I had clarity about getting a job. That year, as I said before, I was the only person in my at that class from Cal State University San Bernardino that had a contract. The next year, it was like 6 of us. But when they saw I had a contract, they started calling me. Here it is, the student, everyone in the class with me, they were calling me, how did you get your job? How did you do that? And I told them I act like I already had one. I shared that with them. I said, I act like I already had the job. And they're like, how do you do that? And I was telling them, I said, I got up as if I had a job. I treated like I had a job and end up getting a job that year. So I'm a witness. Clarity is key. You have to be, what is it that you want? That's that's huge. Because if you really think about it, how will you know when you get there if you don't know what it is you want? How will you know? I would encourage all of you. Number one, write it down. What do you want? Write it down. What is it that you want? Many of you know my goal is 1 million emails. Think about what I'm saying. 1 million people, 1 million people in my email system. Now, I'll be the first to admit, are there 1 million people there now? No. But as far as I'm concerned, they are. They are. You know, Cole? I want to see what you said. Sometimes betrayal gives us a false sense of feeling in control in an uncontrollable situation. The land of unforgiveness. Oh, wow. That's deep. That's deep. All right. And I haven't forgot about you on their Instagram. So I'm saying all these things. My niece used to tell me, she said, why do you always say this is a story, I'm telling the truth and all those things. I don't even know why I say those things. I've been doing it for so long, but I would share with you. It works. It works. Let me tell you what Coach Wendy said about clarity. What do you want? Clarity means to be transparent or pure. Bottom line, we must get real. That's huge. That's really what it is. And you're really getting real with you. You're not getting real with somebody else. You're getting real with you. What do you want? Not do what not. It's not what I want. I want. It's not even what I want for you. What do you want? That's it. I know doesn't it sound simple? It really, if you really think about it, it really does. It really does. Some of you already know. I've been taking screenwriter classes. I don't even know if I shared this with you guys. I've already submitted different projects for executive producers. And guess how many they picked up? None. I'm going to tell you right now, not a one. And I said, and I'm sitting up here and I go, well, maybe I'm not a good screenwriter. Maybe I started questioning myself. But the truth is, I'm in an area I don't have experience in. I've got to learn how to do this. So far I've submitted, 3? They've all been rejected. It's okay. But now I'm saying that now. Let me just tell you the truth. Wasn't that easy about it as I am now. But I had, because the successes I've had with children's books and other books has been good. And so when I was getting and then when I say rejection, let me tell you what that means. So you're clear about what that means. This is what you go into meetings and you read, about your story and everything. And they'll say, they're kind. Let me tell you now, they're very kind, because they say, do you have anything else? That's what I'm laughing because it is so kind. They don't reject you. Like it's not to hurt you. is saying what you're writing right now is not something we're looking for right now. And that's why I put the screen, the back there, the reel, to remind me one day, one day, you will see one of my movies on the quote unquote big screen, and it'll say written by Mary D. Welch. That day is coming. Now, is that today? Nope. But I still have a lot to learn about that industry and learn about what to do, how to write a good movie. It's not easy. Let me tell you that now. And people that do it know it's not easy. So, I'm still in I call the learning curve of it, of learning how to do it. So I'm saying that to say, even when you're clear, it doesn't mean it's going to be overnight, because that's not what it means. It means you're clear as to where you are headed. That's what it means. And what did she say about get real? Get real. I had to get real. I had to, as they say, lick those wounds, even though they were nice. When I tell you they're nicest people, they'll just say, and they always are very, Mary, do you have any other stories? They're very nice. But what they're saying is not right now. You may need to work on something. Those of you, what's the right, Leah Waite? Everybody know, I don't know if you know who Leah Waite is. And she has a hit series, huh? Anyway, this is what I just read recently about her. She written some, I think it was over 15 years ago, she wrote something that now the executives want to see. Think about this. 15 years ago, she wrote something. I don't know what that something is, but now they want to see what she has. So the same thing can happen to me. All of a sudden, it's like, what else do you have? That they're saying, we want to look at it. Not that they're saying any of it is bad or anything like that, but I am learning. In this industry, it's a lot to learn. Hello there. Hi, everybody over there on Instagram. So let me keep going, because I'm only on number 2. Think about I'm trying. There's actually, let me go back. And let me say hi to everybody again they're coming through StreamYard. You can be on Facebook, you can be on LinkedIn, you can be on our Instagram over here, or YouTube. Any of those, we're live. But I never take the recordings down. You can always go back and see them later. And it looks like to me, this one's going to go into at least next week for sure, because we have number 3. Let me put this one up for you. But clarity is a big one. I promise you that. It is. Purpose. Live your meaning, a message and mission. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, these are deep, because a lot of times we don't. How many of you are afraid? You want to write? I'm going to use you. Any budding writers here, but you don't want the negativity of somebody's going to say they don't like what you write. Let me tell you this now, just so you can relax your anxieties. People don't like what I write. If that makes you feel better. Everybody doesn't like what I write. I've had people say, I could have wrote that. And I sit back and I think, you probably could have. It's not like I'm not writing War and Peace. I mean, so I tell people, if you are concerned, if you're that concerned about what people think, the only person you're hurting is you. You're not hurting anybody else. Don't let what people think deter you from doing what you need to do for you. Just don't, long as it doesn't, hurt somebody else or cause any problems type thing. I'm saying, if you want to dance, you want to paint, you want to draw, you want whatever it is, you want to write. Writing for me is, it's heaven on earth. It's heaven on earth. So let me I want to read really quickly what she says about that. Purpose is the reason for which something is done and created, or for which something exists. Let me say it again. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or which something exists. What makes you get out of bed each morning? Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you I don't get out of the bed anymore, I jump out of the bed anymore. Because I get to do whatever it is I want to do. What is, right now, it is right. I get to do that. But first, I had to learn how to get myself in order with having my meditation time. and time with the Lord, my exercise time. I've had to go back. I was out of order. I would come into the office and be here, my husband tell you, till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. The only thing I didn't do on here probably was eat. That's about it. But I say that because the truth is, I love it so much. Now, I wasn't always doing the show, but it's all kinds of projects I'm working on. If I show you guys the project, you'd be like, I pray to God I live to do these projects. So, but I say this to you, what is it that you get out of the bed for? What is it? And I can't tell you what that is, by the way. I can't tell you what that is. But only you know. What gets you out of the bed and what gets me out of the bed is two different things. And Elaine says, I'm so happy that you have clarity and determination. Thank you, Elaine. You were and are a dynamic. Oh, thank you. So are you. Ooh, Elaine, so are you. And he said, the students, parents, peers, all benefited from you. I'm blessed to be your friend, and teaching was our link. It was, wasn't it? Oh, I tell you, Elaine, girl, I think, well, the years went by too fast. Let me say it. And Oliver says, hi, faithful followers. Thank you for joining the live show. We appreciate your input and feedback. Oh, thank you, babe. I want to also remind you, for those of you that would like, subscribe, and share the show. Like, subscribe, and share. If you are not already receiving the emails, please send an email to mary@marydwelch.com. Let me put that up for you. And you can send an email. There we go. Send an email and you'll be added to the email list. In fact, you'll be added today. So the new email that's going out, you will automatically be on that email. And you want to be on the emails. I promise you do. And I'm going to be honest with you, on Instagram, they're saying I'm down. I have 20%. So if I close down, it's not me. It's because I have 20% battery. Sorry about that. But I'll try to make sure next time I thought I was fully charged, but maybe I should keep it plugged in while I'm broadcasting. I think that's what I need to do. But we're still learning. Let me say that. So Instagram, just so you know, they said I want to go to low power mode, I think. There we go. Okay. So let's go to, where are we? Oh, this is on the living your meaning, message, and mission. Okay. Life is about understanding why we are here. I love it. I don't know if you heard me say that. We need to know what the dash between the day you were born and the day you go home really means. That's huge. I honestly think, this is what I think. Not only do we not know many times, we're afraid to find out. Think about that. We're afraid to find out. We're afraid. This is what those of you, many of you know my story, and I'm saying, I'll just do the short version. When I retired and I went to my principal, and she said, the one thing she said when I was trying to leave the office, and she said, Mary, what if you do all of this and you find nothing? Well, I can tell you, I have found something that even that day, though I did not know what I was going toward, I knew I had an opportunity of a lifetime, and I knew it because we only have so many days or so many heartbeats, so many breaths. We don't get to stay forever. So I would really encourage whatever, and you may say, well, I've been wanting to write a book and I just didn't know where to start. Send me an email. I can tell you where to start. I say that because I hear these things daily. Unfortunately, I lost a friend. I've shared with you not too long ago. And it hurts my heart, ladies and gentlemen, because he would always tell me, oh, I have time, Mary. I don't have to write it down now. I'll write it down later. And he passed. So what it really has cautioned me, we don't know how much time we have. We really don't. And I'm no different than anybody else. I'm very much aware. So I would encourage you, whatever it is you want to do. If you say, I want to go back to school, go back. How many years have you been saying these things? The key is action. That's the key. Talking, as they say, I know we've all heard this, talk is cheap. And it is. You can say you want to do anything, but it's doing it. What are you doing to make that dream come true? That's the key. It's in the doing. Let me say that. So keep that in mind. Next, okay. It says most of us get caught up trying to make a living that we never develop a life. That's big. It is critical we learn our meaning, why we are here, so we can develop our message, what we say and do to live out our mission, our purpose. It's easy to get caught up with just paying bills, taking care of our families, and surviving that we do not stop and fully live and thrive. God wants us to live life to the fullest and help others along the way. Wow. Let me keep, and I'm going to say this only because I would always, not always, but I tried to remind when the boys were little, I would point at the sky and tell them, don't overlook what God is doing. Don't overlook a sunrise and a sunset or the clouds or just a breeze blowing or the little things that are just right. They're free to all of us. They're gifts is what they are. They're gifts. One of my favorite is sunrise and sunsets. I don't know why, but they are sunrise and sunsets. Go fly a kite. I know it sounds like, what in the world is this lady talking about? Because it's those simple things that we take for granted. We really do. We really, really do. You know, Cole, you said, I am learning to practice and plan to enjoy my life in every area. And play, work hard. Success is not a solo act. You're right. You know, Cole, that's the truth. It isn't. And it doesn't have to be big things. I've shared with, I'm pretty sure I shared with you, when I would get off work, when I taught, and I taught for over 34 years, I would get off work, I would go to a nearby park and I would walk in the grass. I'd take my shoes off from work and walk in the grass for 30 minutes. And then I would just really meditate for a few minutes before I went home. I did not, now think about this. Nobody told me that was mental health that I was doing. I never knew that, by the way. No, those words were never said to me. I didn't even know that's what I was doing. It was my mental health that I was protecting. I needed 30 minutes of time that I was not a teacher and I was not mom. I was just on the earth as a human being, and that was it. Because I knew once I came home, I had to take care of my kids, and they were the focus. And when I'm at work, I had to take care of those kids. This is somebody else's kids, and I have to be aware. And I can't be, walking in the grass. I have to be present and paying attention. So that was important to me. But I knew when I left the work, I never went. Very rarely, I don't want to say never, but it was rarely that I just left and went straight home. I knew I needed that 30 minutes of just quiet. That's all it was, just peace and quiet. I would just sit in my car sometimes. I just read the Bible, just quiet time. I look back now, I didn't know that that's what that was. So what it added up to was 2.5 hours a week. It was 30 minutes a day. And that was just me. If you are not already doing something like that, the other one I would encourage you to do is journaling. If you're not already, and I say journaling because you can get a notebook, you can do anything. Now, I'll be honest, I do have journals online, but you don't have to buy those journals. You can do whatever you want to do whatever you need to do. Whatever it is that you can write your thoughts down and you can come back to them, I would definitely have it in one place. I wouldn't have it all over the place and scattered and, no, you don't want that. You don't want your ideas like that. You want them in one place so you can come back. And I encourage you to date it. If you want to put the time, you can, but definitely put the date. I've gone back to some things I've written years ago, and it's like, wow, this is how you were feeling at that time. These are my thoughts at that time. Now, I don't feel like that now, but when I go back and look at, so journaling is really, really good. And I didn't start journaling for, a few years. But I would encourage you to journal. Write your thoughts down. Write your ideas down. Write them down. Write your goals. Write your vision for you, for your family. What do you want to see? All of those things matter. They really, really do. And I promise you, this is what I've learned too. You get closer to getting what you want when you write it down. Especially if you write it down and then you put it up where you see it all the time and your mind is going in that direction. And I'm not trying to sit here and tell everybody everything I'm saying is going to be easy, but I can tell you right now, it's definitely anything is possible. Anything, as I said before, what I say, a screenwriter. That one day you're gonna see a movie and it'll say written by Mary D. Welch, and it'll say executive producer. All these fun things. You guys are gonna be like, she said it on the show. So, and I've already written it down, by the way, too. But I just know I can. And the truth is, what happens, I think, when you write it down, you see it, you make it real. And now you really see it becoming to a reality. It's no longer just something floating in the air. It becomes concrete by your very writing it down. As I mentioned to many of you about they often ask me, I hear this, where do you get the ideas for children's books? The first thing I do is write it down. Let me tell anyone, I'll tell anybody that. The very first book that I've written, I still haven't even published that one yet. That's The Cake Shook. I'm going back to publish that one. Oh my goodness. So I had to learn. Remember, I said that at the top of the hour, and I said, I have to focus. I have to focus. Hi, Antonio. How are you? I just saw you, sweetheart. I tell your mom tell Lori I said hi too. So I'm saying that to you, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to close. We're down to a few minutes before we close. I'm looking at the time right now. Just know, and we're going to carry this on. Let me say that because there are 10. So we're going to go in again next week or in between. I know I have a speaker. I forget what week, though we do have a speaker. And we have some people in very high political positions. They're coming on the show. We have a lot of people. I'm excited. But please remember to like the show, to subscribe to the show, and to share the show. Remember, you can speak volumes to people. You're sharing it to your friends, then they share it to their friends. That's pretty much how it goes. And that's how it grows. I didn't really know that at first, but I'm learning that that's the case. Okay, Antonio. Oh, okay. Every black dot? I can't remember. Every dot black, I think it is. Okay. We have to see. Okay, that's Antonio's on Zoom, so I can't really transfer that over to where we are on. This is another platform. This platform, for those of you, if you're interested, send an email. On this platform, that's why I'm able to stream to Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube simultaneously. I'm not able to stream right now and I know what to still do it through Instagram and through TikTok and Twitch, but I'm learning that eventually all of them will be on here and we'll be able to stream live through all of these different platforms. So that's coming. But I know we're down to 2 minutes. I want to thank all of you for being here as I do a quick roll call. I can't do it through Instagram. I know I saw Queen, I saw Mary, I saw Nasea and Antonio. If I missed you, charge it to my head and not my heart. That's on Instagram. And then here we are we also have on this, we have Nanette, Elaine, Inoko, and Oliver. I want to make sure I say hi to all of you. I love you all. I will see you next Monday, and we will keep going with this because there's more. There's a lot more to go over with it. So I see you then. We're down to 1 minute, and I know if I go over, I honestly why I don't go over. Sometimes they cut it off. Bye, Nanette. Take care, sweetheart. I love you all. Talk to you soon. I'll be back next Monday. God willing now. God willing. So I'll see you next Monday. Bye, everybody. And there we go. Instagram. I have to get off. Bye, say. I tell you.